today.
The billionaire space race takes heat from Britain's Prince William. I'm Ian Lee with his climate change concerns.
Also, a teddy bear logs 5,000 miles through the mountains before finally heading home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
An FDA panel is considering Moderna's request for emergency authorization of its booster shot today. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes. The number of new COVID cases and hospitalizations and deaths is declining, which the Biden administration says is because of an increase in vaccinations. An FDA advisory committee is looking into whether people with the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines need a booster shot. The group will also look at a new study which shows people with the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine may be better off switching up and getting a booster shot from the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines. A vote on the Moderna booster shots is expected later today. The panel is scheduled to vote on the Johnson & Johnson booster tomorrow. The CDC will have to approve the booster shots as well before they can become available to the public. Well, here in the 4 states, COVID numbers are also on the decline. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
COVID numbers are beginning to trend down across the area with 1 or 2 exceptions. One of those exceptions is Newton County. Newton County Health Department Administrator Larry Bergner says he believes the ups and downs are just the way of the pandemic right now.
We've seen over the last several weeks, it seems to be 1 week is a little bit of a bump. The next week will go down, then the next week is a little bit of a bump. So it just seems to be the natural ebb and flow of this virus, that you'll have a little bit of a spike, but not too bad, and then it'll go down the following week.
Across state lines in Crawford County, Pittsburg State University has reported 0 new cases for the 2nd week in a row, and numbers in the county are trending downward.
You know, we are definitely seeing a trend down, which we're very happy to see, and are hoping that that's, going to continue.
Van Cam says the thing with COVID is it's a novel virus, meaning it's new, and there's still a lot to figure out over the next several years.
So we're learning as we go, and I think the numbers they're trending down. I think they'll continue to trend down, but we have to always just be watchful.
With the Merck announcement of a possible pill to treat COVID symptoms and vaccinations opening up to those ages 5 to 11, Bergner has high hopes for the future.
That hopefully will get us to a point where we can finally say that we are pretty well through the pandemic, and then it becomes something similar to the flu where we know it's going to be here. Hopefully it won't be severe, and we can deal with it in an effective manner to save lives and get people over the illness as quickly as possible.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
Both Bergner and Van Cam want to stress the best way to stay protected is by getting vaccinated as soon as possible. Well, at this point, most of us have the rainy day blues.
Yeah.
It's not over yet. Michael Hayes.
Whoa! What was with the point right there?
I might have called you out on that one.
It's like, guess what? There's more rain headed your way. Let's go to Michael. Thank you for that. Well, look, I'm going to start with blue sky. It's very limited.
It was blue this morning. It was so bright I had to put the blinds on because I couldn't see my computer screen.
It's very limited as far as what we're seeing with the blue sky. But yeah, we have an afternoon to enjoy unless you are south of I-44, where it just continues to rain through portions of McDonald and Berry County, as well as Benton County and northwest Arkansas, a little bit filtering in through portions of Delaware County and northeast Oklahoma. Now, out in southeast Kansas, where you deserve a break from all that rain, we're actually beginning to clear off. However, we are far from being over, because see that cloud front right there and this rain beginning to develop out there in eastern Colorado? That is what is headed our way for tonight. And with that being said, I want to concentrate on these specific counties that are in green. Those indicate a flash flood watch. And while those are set to expire at 7 o'clock tonight, wait till we get to Future Track, and we're going to break that down from a fundamental standpoint in here in just a little bit. Temperatures ranging anywhere from about 68 to 72. A far cry from what we had earlier, where we had as much as a 13-degree discrepancy from the west to the east. So now that we've all kind of settled in together and the wind arrows decided to finally take a break from swirling around and will eventually work in from the southeast, we can plan on about, say mid-70s this afternoon with a little growing sunshine. But as Tanya alluded to, we are not done yet this week. So here we go, a little scattered activity for tonight, and then after sunset, that is when we pick up for Friday morning. Remember those counties down in southwest Missouri, south of I-44, and Ottawa and Delaware County in northeast Oklahoma? Well, look at what we've got Friday morning. Heavy rains continually rolling through, and this thing really doesn't want to give up till about 9, 10 o'clock, and even after that, still have some light scattered showers coming down. On top of it, how about a cold front? Going to feel like the 60s on Friday and Saturday before we rebound to Sunday. Tanya, coming up here in just a little bit. How can we blame all this on a hurricane from the Pacific Basin that really we never even talked about?
That's right.
It's because we had our own severe weather. But yes, this is going to be the result of Hurricane Pamela. Pamela, yeah.
All right. I got lots of questions for you coming up.
I'll be here.
All right, thanks, Michael. Prince William has some choice words for world leaders about the future of the environment. He made the comments ahead of a climate summit next month in Scotland. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
The call for climate action is growing louder, from the young to old, everyday folks to royals.
You know, we are seeing a rise in climate anxiety.
Prince William worries what life will be like for future generations.
You know, young people now are growing up where their futures are basically being threatened the whole time. It's very unnerving and it's very, you know, anxiety making.
The father of three sat down with the BBC, saying he's concerned politicians are all talk and no action.
It'd be an absolute disaster if George is sat here in another 30 years' time, whatever, still saying the same thing, because by then we'll be too late.
Prince William's comments come just weeks before world leaders arrive in the UK for an international climate change conference. The British royal also slammed the current billionaire space race, taking aim at Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, and Elon Musk.
We need some of the world's greatest brains and minds fixed on trying to repair this planet, not trying to find the next place to go and live.
Young activists say even the royals could do more to protect the environment. A message they took to Buckingham Palace, urging the Queen to plant more trees and go organic. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The Queen, Prince Charles, and Prince William will attend the COP26 United Nations Climate Change Conference next month in Scotland. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, thanks to the watchful eye of a park ranger, a young girl is reunited a year later with a very special stuffed animal. And later, we're making a mostaccioli and sausage toss in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, here's a story that just might make you smile. It's all about a young girl, a teddy bear, and a dedicated park ranger. Elise Preston takes us to Glacier National Park for the story.
This little bear has always been Naomi Pascal's favorite toy. She got the stuffed animal she calls Teddy just before being adopted from an Ethiopian orphanage in 2016.
I have lots of pictures of her getting the bear, and that was definitely her first toy. And so it was really special that she was able to have that until we were able to go and meet her in person.
But last year, Teddy went missing when the family was hiking in Montana's Glacier National Park, and that's where park ranger Tom Matsurisi comes in. After a big snowstorm, he spotted Teddy while out on patrol.
I noticed this little teddy bear, kind of with still snow melting off it, a little bit off the trail.
Before long, Teddy had a comfy spot on his dashboard where he sat for almost a year until friends of the Pascals actually visited the same park.
It just happened upon this ranger truck randomly, and her niece saw Teddy in the dashboard.
Teddy and Naomi were soon reunited.
I bet excited because I didn't know I was gonna have to see him again.
She was like jumping up and down. She was so excited.
The Pascals hope to meet Trooper Matsurisi on their next visit to Glacier National Park. Elise Preston, CBS News.
Well, Park Ranger Marisi estimates Teddy logged about 5,000 miles on his dashboard. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Grab your bib and your appetite, because we're serving up a big bowl of pasta and lots of good times. It's all right here in the test kitchen.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Now the weekend's going to be quite pleasant. Bring us sunshine, dry weather, mild October temperatures. We just got to get there first, because we're going to roll more rain tonight into Friday morning. Live look from 7th and Rangeline is where we start. A little blue sky is going to peek out every now and then, but not a whole lot of sunshine left on our Thursday. A very comfortable 71 degrees though, and the nice thing is we're not fighting any type of wind as it just comes in from the southeast right now. Anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Skywatch Storm Tracker, even though we pushed off the morning rain out of southern southwest Missouri, you'll notice it continues to roll in out of portions of central Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. And what that leads to is ultimately a week's worth of rain totals that easily exceeds 3.5 to 4 inches. Now, while the majority of all the rain we saw in southeast Kansas was on Monday and Wednesday, it was really overnight that it dominated southwest Missouri, especially below I-44, leading us to flash flood watches that do not expire until 7 o'clock tonight, and I'm not going to be surprised if those are not extended. Our temperatures right now sitting anywhere from about 64, our low point in Cassville, to 72 in Neodesha. Now the interesting portion about this is those temperatures are exactly flipped from where we were this morning, where actually it was the western portion that was the coolest, and where it was raining in southwest Missouri was some of the warmest. We'll have all settled down into the mid-70s here a little bit later on. But you can tell there's a cold front that's moving our way. Look at the dividing line right there on the color contour. As everybody up in the northwest of us, they're only sitting in the mid-40s right now at the noon hour. And then on the other side of the thunderstorm activity that's pushing its way east of the Ozarks, that's where you've got abnormally warm October temperatures. So what happens when we have the collision between the humidity and the cold front? Additional thunderstorms. Well, what humidity? Not so much humidity, perhaps precipitable water. That's all that upper atmosphere water that we have up there. And you'll notice it's a good line. You can see it runs right from the Great Lakes all the way down through southeastern Texas, really jumping up by the Red River right now. But ultimately that question is, did it come from the Gulf? No, it actually did not. It came from a Pacific Basin hurricane by the name of Pamela. Pamela made, Category 1 Pamela made landfall Wednesday. We just didn't have time to talk about Pamela, mainly because we've been dealing with our own 4-state cleanup of severe weather that started Sunday and has really lasted up until well, I'm not going to say tonight it's going to be anything severe, but with those flooding concerns, yeah. So look at what Pamela did. Becomes a subtropical low pressure system, takes all that precipitable water, forces it right up through Texas, and then makes a beeline right through the 4 states. And so while that water is ripe and that cold front moves in, it starts to scatter showers shortly after sunset, but that's nothing. Here's what we've got cooking. Remember those areas that have the flash flood watches on them right now in southwest Missouri, and now look at Ottawa and Delaware County throughout northeast Oklahoma. That is extreme heavy rainfall for early Friday morning, thunder and lightning as well. We should be able to avoid the high damaging winds that we experienced earlier this week, but it is a pretty good definitive north-south line that pushes off and really doesn't want to stop till about late Friday morning. And even during the afternoon hours, we see a little bit of residual on the backside of it. Other thing I want to point out on Future Track, look at our temperatures here as we get past midnight. 65, 67, not too bad. And then look at where they are during the 12:30 hour, 57. So the cold front will be upon us. We'll get a little rebound, make it up into the low 60s tomorrow afternoon. But ultimately, Tanya, tomorrow night, high school football kickoff, figure low to mid 50s, and then dropping down to, I'd say the 40s by the time we get into a cool Saturday as well.
I'm looking forward to this cool down. It'll be nice. Although I think I was complaining about being cold in the newsroom earlier. The AC was running. It didn't need to be.
It's because we love him with all our hearts. Douglas is back.
Oh.
Right. And folks, when Douglas is back, the meat locker.
He likes it cold. That's all right.
He's going to text me here for the end of the show, mark my words.
All right, we take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Corporal Daryl Phillips in the U.S. Army. The Arcadia, Kansas native joined the 32nd Infantry, 7th Division in 1951. Corporal Phillips fought in Japan during the Korean War. He received both the National Defense Service Medal and the Army of Occupation Medal. To Corporal Daryl Phillips, we thank you, our 4-state hero. We're using a fun noodle to change up your favorite Italian dinner. Howard shows us how to make a mostaccioli and sausage toss in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
One of my favorite things to serve when I have a bunch of friends over is a big bowl of pasta, some crusty bread, and of course, a bottle of wine to wash it all down. To keep things interesting though, I like to change up the shape of the pasta, like we're doing today. We start by cooking some pasta according to the package instructions. Here I'm using what is known as mostaccioli, which is similar to ziti, but the ends are cut on an angle. Now for the sauce. In a large pot, we begin by browning some Italian sausage. As for the type of sausage, that can be beef, pork, or chicken, and as mild or as spicy as you like. To that, we add a chopped onion and green pepper, along with some minced garlic. After that cooks for a bit, we pour in a couple of jars of spaghetti sauce and some Parmesan cheese. While this simmers, I'll drain the pasta, and then it's time to toss everything together. Mamma mia, does this look good or what? This just proves that the simplest things are often the best. Maybe top it with some fresh basil and a bit more cheese before letting everyone dig in. To get the recipe for our mostaccioli and sausage toss, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a welcome to the family way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Rain kicking back in after sunset tonight. Daily high going to be around 75 degrees, and then after that, get ready for more thunderstorm activity for Friday morning, especially south of I-44, whether it be in northeast Oklahoma or southern southwest Missouri, because that appears where we're going to see the hardest rain, thunder, and lightning. Already have flash flood warnings in effect for portions of southwest Missouri. Expect those to persist into Friday as well. Cold front going to drop us all the way down to the 50s tomorrow afternoon. And tomorrow evening for high school football, probably feeling about in between 52 and 55 degrees at kickoff.
All right, well, they'll be ready for it.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Michael. Coming up tonight at 5, they've been around for a century, but new research is shining a spotlight on headlights. We take a look at the results. Plus, Governor Parson talks about the personal information for Missouri teachers after an expert finds some personal information is vulnerable to the public. And several manufacturing companies showcase their products for area students. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
I want to thank you all for joining us here on the KOAM News at noon. Tanya and I will see you again tomorrow morning.
And the rest of the team will see you right back here at 5 o'clock.